downtown with them style. But the Anthony Hamilton music so child. We can park downtown in the back, our pants down. While you going downtown, we can ride downtown.
I want to introduce my next artist up on the Zip Squad interview list. We have a Last Page here with us today.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for allowing me first off into your collective space for the interview. It's definitely an upgrade from my my little stuff. So I appreciate it, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah.
So let's just let's jump right in, man. I heard you at a recent Mixer event, right around the corner.
Yeah.
And you blew me away, man. You do like R&B music, and you dropped a couple. I think 3. You performed 3 of them.
Yeah, I performed 3 joints. Yeah. It was Downtown, Diamond in the Dirt, and what was the other one? Damn, I can't remember. It was another one. Diamond in the Dirt, Downtown, and gosh, man,
It was all 5. I know
it
that
was.
one.
They was 5. They was
Yeah.
5. It was 3. I originally was gonna do 2, but I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a variety.
Mhm.
You
That
know,
last
what I'm
one, I
saying?
think you said it was unreleased, or it was like a
Yeah,
teaser kind of.
yeah.
You iced it with that. Like you
Yeah.
gave the cake out. You know, you can just eat the cake, but you really put it together with that last one. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, he nice.
Yeah, man.
Where does that come from? What's your inspiration behind doing R&B music specifically?
Well, you know, I came up in a household where, you know, my mom, all she listened to was R&B, and all my dad listened to was hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much got the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? And I started out singing as a shorty.
Mhm.
You know, I remember gathering the family together at family events and passing out juice and water and stuff to get everybody's attention, and having everybody stand out on the porch and on the stairs and being on the sidewalk and just performing in front of the family. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been in me, you know?
Yeah. Did you do choir or anything like that in school growing up?
Yeah, I did choir. I never grew up in church, and a lot of people they find it hard to believe. They like, what, you never grew up in
That type of
church?
voice, you think so?
Yeah, you know, and you know, I come from a Jehovah Witness background.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you know the Jehovah Witnesses, you know, they're very knowledgeable people,
Right.
but you know their religion is totally different from, you know, Christianity and
Right.
Baptist. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I learned a lot from them. You know, knowledge wise. But you know, eventually when I got old enough, you know, I turned over to secular music because, you know, it just drew me in. It's something that I always loved. Like I remember being 7, 8 years old, sneaking listening to the Tupac tape. You know what I'm saying? Or sneaking and listening to Biggie Smalls or Jay-Z K Knock the Hustle tapes. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang Clan tapes, and these are cassette tapes my dad used to have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember when he had the he had a big ass leather case with all the old school cassette tapes in there. Like he had a whole collection. I remember when Master P and them was real hot. They came out with an album like every week. It seemed like it came out with an album like every week or every other week.
I think it seems like they kind of inspired that productivity out of artists. There was definitely groups that did it before, but like you said, so consistent. Then you have kind of that style with the teas getting made now. People will try to do the throwback mixtapes and do it in the same type of fashion. There's really even some groups that still call themselves the Hot Boys. So it's crazy, man. That's definitely a big pool of artists to have, you know, drawn inspiration from. And then, like you mentioned, being in choir. I did choir myself for a couple years, so I know even if you just do it to play, that is some kind of that's some good infrastructure for you, because you know how to hit certain notes. Even just the note combos and learning how to do, re, mi, fa, sol, bro, you can't do that after the fact.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
can't.
mean? And that's something you really have to grind into your knowledge and learn how to hold certain keys. So first off, commend you for being that in depth into it and actually taking classes, you know, growing up, and then having it come to fruition and doing music. One thing I've noticed with artists, I like to ask, because it's not always, you know, a linear path. It's not always A to B.
Yeah.
Did you always know you were going to make music, or did you just like music and it was a part of you? You know what I mean?
I always knew that I wanted to make music.
Okay.
I always knew that it was something that I always wanted to do. It was my passion. You know, I remember, you know, going on many tours and stuff, and you know, just getting the experience. I don't know if you're familiar with the Cool Kids.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with them?
Yeah,
the Cool Kids, Sir Michael Rocks, Chuck English.
I think that's my brother's. I think that's my brother's generation, but I think they had a few of
They had a joint called Black Mags.
Okay,
I'm on the dyno with the Black Mag, Black Mag. Yeah, so me and Sir Michael Rocks, the skinny cat, like we came up together in the game, really. You know what I'm saying? And I remember his mom being our manager. Her name was Candy R. May she rest in peace. She took us to Atlanta, and we had went to the Vibe Music Fest. We had like front row seat passes to see like the concert, to see like John Legend, Lauryn Hill, and all of them. Oh, we was like backstage. I got to meet like Crime Mob. Homeboy, his name was Quan. He had made a joint with Nas. And like, when day comes and nightfall, for the rest of our lives we miss y'all. And even though life must go on, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made that joint.
Soulful, man.
Yeah, man. We had went to Isaac Hayes' son studio. Got to meet Isaac Hayes' son around that time. This is when Mace was still, he was trying to make a comeback in the game where he had did the Welcome Back album. And I remember when the Dodge Charger was real popular around that time. He had a black on black Dodge Charger parked in the alley, and we back there, we in the studio, like, I'm just amazed at the time, you know what I mean? Yeah. And around this time, this is when, you know, I was really like heading at the height of my career. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What year was this?
This was around 2007, okay. Around that time, like circa 2007, 2008, around that time. And that's when I was like real deep off into like listening to Little Brother, you know, Mos Def and Talib Kweli and all of them and stuff. And, you know, I mean, that whole experience changed my outlook on a lot of things, because you had cats that was where I was from locally that never got the opportunity to even experience some stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. And we had lost contact for like 6 months. The last time we had hung out, right, this is a funny story. Last time we had hung out, I had spent the night over Sir Michael Rock's house, and we had ended up sneaking out the house, and we had went to go link up with some girls or whatever. I was like 17. We was like 17 at the time, somewhere around there. And we had went to Country Club Hills, and we had went over to his homeboy Shorty K house. Shout out to Shorty K. And we had went through the window, and the cop had knocked on the door, and because he had seen us go through the window, he knocked on the door. Man, his mama came in the room. We all in the room chilling. Yeah. Cop came in. He like, you look familiar. I seen you from somewhere. I'm like, look, man, I ain't from here. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I was 17, I had a full-grown beard. You know what I'm saying? I look like a little grown-ass man. You know what I mean?
They can't miss you with that.
Yeah. So after that, we didn't have contact like that after that. And then 6 months later, I turned to MTV, and they got the Black Mag video on there.
MTV, that's crazy.
And it made me feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I made so much good material music. Right. I linked up with good producers and stuff just for a lot of my material to get destroyed because, you know, at the time, you know, and that was my fault for lack of due diligence, for not having external hard drives and you know what I'm saying, of making sure that my material was safe. I trusted these people, and I lost a lot of good body of material behind that.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a learning lesson that I feel like has kind of gone throughout, especially the last probably 20, 30 years. So in the sense of music, is you just got to be sure.
Yeah.
And I've even had the same type of situation happen. I'm sure a lot of people watching it that will watch this have had that, where they put trust into a situation or a partnership, and then they got the shorter end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, it's just about, being able to step back after that, reevaluate yourself, and coming back with a stronger plan. I do commend you for owning up to it and saying you had to take due diligence.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of cats, no disrespect to them, will point their finger still.
Yeah, there's
a lot of progress you can't make if you're still trying to blame something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Kudos for that. You mentioned off camera earlier that you grew up in Chicago. So how was growing up in that area like?
I grew up between Chicago and Indiana.
Okay.
So Chicago and Indiana is like so close to each other, like the state line is like right there. Mm-hmm. So like you wouldn't even realize you in Illinois or Indiana. That's how close they are to each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my family grew up there. I grew up there. You know what I'm saying? I grew up between there and Indiana, 75th and Halstead. You know what I'm saying? I remember, just being a shorty walking around the city with my mom. It used to be this area called Juketown, and I mean that's where like all the swap meets and stuff used to go down. You used to be able to get all kind of good shit for a good price. You know what I mean? They end up shutting that down. But just being in the city, I mean, I seen a lot. Luckily, I didn't fall victim like a lot of these cats did. You know what I'm saying? I thought smart, and then when I did end up getting in those type of situations, it was because they intentionally came to me, not because I was looking for that shit.
Right. Sometimes you have to respond. When stuff's presented.
Right.
Understood.
And the most traumatic experience that happened to me was when I was living in Gary, Indiana, and I stayed in this high rise called the KC building. I stayed on the 8th floor, and I had company that night. The girl had called me, and I hadn't seen this chick in like 4 months or something like that. I hadn't seen her in months. Mm-hmm. She hit me up. She like, hey, I'm just in the neighborhood. I had thought about you. I was just wondering if I could come through. Mm. I wasn't doing shit. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Come on through. You know what I mean? Right. So anyway, she come through. We kicking it, sipping, smoking. Of course, one thing led to another. And first time I came out to change my music, I ain't see nobody. I shouldn't have had to see anybody. Right. This is my motherfucking crib. You know what I mean? My music blasting. So mind you, on the floor I stayed on, it was 4 apartments, but it wasn't nobody at the apartment that night. I was the only one in my apartment that night, right? Second time I came out, it was a motherfucker standing in the corner of the wall right next to my bedroom door, like he was contemplating on if he was gonna come in the room on me and old girl. Yeah. Everything happened so fast, bro. It was like pushing fast forward on the VHS tape. You know what I'm saying? I charged the dude to the couch. I'm like, Leonica, somebody in the house. She come out the room half naked, running around in my kitchen back and forth like a chicken with his head cut off. I had my pistol in the case on the shelf in the closet. You know what I'm saying? She was too short to even reach the shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, give me a knife. Buddy pulled out a long ass pocket knife, probably like that big, and just started going in. Bow, yank, bow, yank. He got me right here in my face. He stabbed me right here in my hand. He split the tendon in my hand, causing my pinky finger not being able to bend no more.
Damn.
He got me right here, all in my chest. I got stabbed in my head and everything. I just thank God that man didn't get me in my neck or main artery. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know?
Protected, man.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was, when I stabbed the dude back, he didn't say nothing. And his eyes was gloomy as fuck. So that only let me know that he was high on some shit. You know what I'm saying? He literally had to pump himself up to come and do what he did. You know what I'm saying?
In the corner like that.
Yeah, like it, and exactly. Like I mean, he didn't say nothing. Like the dude, I'm going in. He ain't saying nothing. Like that shit fucked me up for months, bro.
Yeah.
Like I had like PTSD behind that shit. You know what I'm saying? Waking up, jumping up out my sleep. You know what I'm saying? Making sure the coast is clear and shit. Like
shit, you said still, man. There's people that they go overseas and less happen, and they got PTSD for life.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? People want to denounce what happens in different neighborhoods or when situations happen over here because it's over here.
Yeah,
brother, that's traumatic.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Because you think about that and you have the reminders every day, your hand, you know, your scars, you have them reminders every day of that day.
Yep. And
moving forward, dog, that's heavy.
And you know, mental health is important in the Black community. 100%. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And I never understood how important it was until I took myself to therapy. You know what I mean? And because it was ruining my relationships with people. You know what I'm saying? It was ruining my communication, you know, the way that I interact and did things with people and stuff, the outlook, the things that I saw and the outlook that I had on life, you know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of time, Black man, it ain't your fault. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you to go and get the good mental health treatments that you need. Right. Because, you know, a lot of us come from like desensitized backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? Family members that'll fuck you over and want to sweep shit under the rug like it never happened and don't want to take accountability for the trauma or the bullshit that they've caused you in your life. Right. You know what I mean? You know, we always want to point the finger, you. Instead of taking that time out to sit back and realize that I need some help. You know, we get over shit, but it still play back in the back of our mind. You know what I'm saying? And it could be the slightest thing that could trigger that shit.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly. I think that's a big problem in our community, mental health. It's all right to be soft in moments. You don't have to be soft in public or to certain people or instances, but you need to have a space where you can break the walls down and express whatever that is without having to take it out on somebody.
Yeah.
We didn't learn to get that far. And so we're dealing with it. The problem I've been seeing, because I dealt with it and still am with my girl, is that this is something that is deemed supposed to be easy because you kind of learn it along the lines of as you grow up. So not only are we having to learn something that was supposed to already be learned now, on top of still dealing with our lives, it's being denounced because it was something that we were supposed to know.
Yeah.
And so I get the fight that we have with trying to go to do it. It's hard to reach out for. But at the same time, I agree with you too. Man, once you start to break them walls down, and that's why I said at the beginning, be soft, Black man. Say it might be you, but don't say it the way they're saying it.
Right.
Say it in a sense that you just want to improve yourself, not that they're telling you something's missing.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? And you can address it differently. Once you start to address that problem differently, so many more solutions. You may just be chilling one day. And an idea may come up to how to vent. A way to express yourself may come up in a situation that may not have presented itself prior because you're learning how to address those thoughts and process them. So I agree with it, man. A lot of Black men have lost their lives and have taken a lot of lives due to, you know, a negative mental health.
Yep. And you know, a lot of good body of material comes from traumatic experiences. You got the most hottest lyrical musical people that put all of their energy, time, and just love and the love that they have for the craft into this shit.
Right.
But people not knowing that they went through some of the worstest shit for them to make this good ass body of material. That's why when I look at a lot of these cats, these new cats that's coming up, I'm not knocking them. Get y'all money, do y'all thing. But y'all can't be scrambling around and just be making shit just for the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of well-seasoned music out there. I could go back on De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest, Mos Def, Black Star. You know what I'm saying? Even Busta Rhymes' old shit still jam. You know what I mean? Like, these cats, they made timeless music. They made music for years to come. You know what I'm saying? For generations to come. And you got these little small kids that's out here rapping and singing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus these young cats, they just saying some stuff. And you got these labels in your ear telling you how they want you to be. You know what I'm saying? And y'all ain't went through none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came from the suburbs. Y'all parents was a doctor and a lawyer. You know what I mean?
You was good.
You was good. You was a trust fund baby. And you mean to tell me you want to come in the game and put out that energy when you didn't come from that life at all? It makes no sense.
It's not. I don't think it's charged off the same thing. Back in the day, it was more of expression. Now it's more so just a value. How much can I get paid? And it's starting to flood. It's starting to flood good music, and that's what flood out good music. And I think that's one thing that's unfortunate. At least in the U.S. I watch other bloggers that do interviews because they A, have good interviewees. B, is good content for me to, I guess, study. And I was watching a Vlad interview with Tony Yayo, and Tony Yayo is like the definition of loyalty, and they say it on there too. But he's overseas right now with 50 Cent, and they're touring right now overseas. They done been to Dubai, Egypt, Paris. They chilling nice, and I ended up looking into it a little more because it intrigued me. And 50 Cent get paid like 10 times more over there per show now than he did in his prime in the U.S. And so that just goes to show how much, first off, how good the music really is because everywhere else listens to it, but also how fast we try to flood it out just for $1 here. Like, it's just whatever is popping. And then you go back and listen to the old music. Randomly this morning, I said, let me just pull up some oldies because I'm not from that era. So I didn't listen to artists like Bobby Brown. Like, that was my mom is playing that, I'm hearing. So I'm listening to his music. The whole entire energy, the tempo is completely different. It's slower. It's more comprehensible for you to understand what's going on. And he not hard. He talking about, you got to do this, that, and the third for you to be with me. Don't do this to me. He's not saying it like a submissive person, but he's still being soft in the open. And that's something we're lacking in this generation.
And they lack to be soft. It's okay to cry. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to admit that you fucked up. It's okay to learn from your fuck ups and get up and try again. You know what I'm saying? The things that they stole on society today and the unrealistic expectations that they put out, and you got people that don't know how to think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or they think that they have to think like these people to get to the level that they're at. You know what I'm saying? When that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you might end up fucking yourself when you do that, because what worked for them is not gonna always work for you. 100%.
I posted a quote this morning. Actually, I have a page that I do like. I'll post artist tidbits, information, and then lately I've been doing like inspirational quotes or morning quotes. And the one I actually posted this morning, if I recall, it was a Nelson Mandela quote, and it said, "It's impossible until you do it." And that's just kind of the mentality.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow their formula because everyone else said or it looked like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You can go that way, and they can all say you're not gonna get it. And then as soon as you do, now you a genius.
And now they're gonna ask you, how did you do it?
Now it's I always believe.
What's
in
your
you.
formula? Yeah,
Right.
what's your formula?
Right.
Oh yeah, man. Man, look, get out of here with that shit.
So it's one of those things, man. I think we have an opportunity right now in the space we're in, to kind of take hold of it and kind of put some love on it, and hopefully we can, make a switch. But otherwise, it's looking pretty hectic as far as the young cats, man. I feel like they're getting a little more reckless.
More reckless, more rebellious, living even faster than the young rock stars back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They going extra hard, like they looking old, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm 34, you know what I mean? Like, one cat came up to me, he like, what's your secret? He like, you how old? He like, what's your secret? I'm like, how old are you? Because I thought the young cat was older than me. I thought he was like 38, 40 or something. That nigga say he was 27.
Yeah.
I was like, drink water, my boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all don't drink water. Y'all out here, y'all don't take care of yourself. You don't take care of your skin. You know what I'm saying? Self-care is a must, my guy. You want to stay looking good. You want to stay feeling and looking young. Take good care of yourself. Drink water. Be kind to your mind, your body, your spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You will live longer. Exercising the mind is scientifically proven to increase your lifeline and strengthen your heart. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these cats, they don't be knowing nothing. Nothing. And it's sad, man. It's really sad. I've been on my own since I was 17. And it wasn't by choice, but it made me the person that I am today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus right, it built my character. I learned different mannerisms from real men. Like, I idolized real men. I went out there looking up to no cats that's out here misleading the youth and the blind leading the blind. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look up to none of them cats. You know what I'm saying? I knew that, I wanted to eventually, when I get to a certain age, I want to be a distinguished gentleman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't, a real gangster, a real retired dope dealer, here's the thing about them. They ain't out here on some rah-rah and throwing it in your face that I did this and I did that. They ain't on IG stories and lives and Snapchats and all of this, showing big bags of cash and all the dope that they got and dropping their locations and incriminating themselves.
And being mad about it.
Yeah.
Man, the feds, man, they
they watching me, but look what your dumb ass did,
You're
bro.
promoting it, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of the OGs that I know, they don't even want to have shit to do with the dope game. A lot of them, they got businesses. You know what I'm saying? They living comfortable. You know what I mean? They taking care of their families and they chilling. They ain't out here. They don't want to. Once they did what they did, they don't want to keep their lifestyle up.
You start thinking about it. I don't even want to touch on Vlad like that, but he drops good knowledge even if you don't agree with him or whatever.
Yeah.
But he made a good point about the dope game, and he broke down an easy scenario, right? Say you really get money and you bust $100K in a year, right? On some positive, just up, you got it. And you get caught the end of that year, the second year, what have you, you go sit down, you gotta sit down minimum 3 years. You only made $25,000 a year for 4 years. You could have went to McDonald's and did that and got to go home and eat your meals and enjoy yourself with your shorty, with your whatevers. But instead, you spent that year grinding. Now you got to pay it to the state.
Yeah.
You got to pay it back to this. Then you got to start from scratch with a record against you.
Yeah.
So just weigh them options, black man. Like I said, and like we've been saying, man, it's important to take a step back and just reflect. It seemed cool because it's faster, but fast don't always get you there sooner because you can crash. So
cash ain't always king either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get your credit right.
There you go.
Get your credit right, my
go.
boy. Like, I'm telling you, man, I listen to Larry June. You familiar with Larry June?
Yes,
I
sir.
listen to Larry June is like words of affirmations for me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you, dog. Like he be giving out free game. The cat is young, but he's so well seasoned, like a OG for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. I like that cat. I had went to his concert.
Nice.
What was that? Back in 2021 of December. It was his last concert. No, it was in Dallas.
Okay.
At the House of Blues.
Okay,
you know
I think
what I'm
he did
saying?
Austin like the day before, like a couple days
Yeah,
before. Okay, cool.
And that was his last show, man. When I say it was a vibe, dude, it was a vibe. I was in there singing everything word for word, straight fan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real one right there. I like cats like that.
Yeah, shout out Larry June, man. Numbers, really.
For sure.
We kind of got off subject, man. We had to touch on mental health, and you know, we black men, so we gonna definitely include that whenever, however, all the time. But going back to you as an artist, we out here in Texas now, man. You said you started in Chicago, so kind of talk about the transition. You know, when you said you were on your own at 17. Did you just immediately jump to Texas? Was this more later?
This was later. So I ended up moving to Texas. I want to say probably like when it happened, December, January, February, March, April, May. So it was like 5 months after I had got stabbed up. So I had moved out here 5 months after I had got stabbed up. I was 24. So this was like back in 2012.
Okay.
So I was like 23, 24, around there or whatever. And I had left a sign on the door. I said, if you want it, you can have it.
Oh, you left?
Yeah, I left everything in that boy. I left everything in there. I said, if you want it, you can have it. I gave away a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I sold a lot of shit, and I had bought me a Greyhound ticket, and I came out here. My cousin was already living in Dallas, and we had put down for an apartment and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, and that was that, and I just basically just built myself, just worked my way up, you know what I'm saying, working all these odd jobs, and just doing so much to the point where I ain't even realize I came this far. You know what I mean? And just linking up with different people, talking about music, and then that ended up leading me to producers and just the whole music scene all over again. You know how it go. You know what I'm saying? Once you meet somebody that do music, it's like a chain reaction. You meet somebody else, and then you start linking up with that person, and then next thing you know, you at this event, and you know what I'm saying? So that's how it went down. And my last major show was back in 2017. I mean, I done some previous shows since then, but like my last major one was back in like 2017, and that's when like I ended up losing a lot of my material again from somebody who I was supposed to have trusted, but that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? But
was that in Dallas, the last performance?
Yeah. Actually, it was in Arlington. Okay. The last performance. Okay. But yeah, that's cool. Around it's still DFW.
Yeah. I had some people up there, so I've been up there for a couple of events. It's a blogger by the name of Chief Previs, and he does blogging up there as well as in Lubbock. Okay. So he kind of doubles back and forth. I met him a couple years ago. And same as you said, once you meet certain people, it kind of starts to snowball, and then you meet other people, and they're like, I knew him. They y'all networked, and this happened. So definitely a good scene. I got, like I said, I have family up there too. The vibe up there, like I said, down here, it's getting hectic, but it's one of those things where if you can get in your pocket, you can maneuver, man. Everyone has a choice at the end of the day. Right. And if you just want to do something, it's just a matter of putting your mind to it and saying, I'm gonna block A, B, and C out, and I'm gonna get to what I'm trying to get to.
And here's the issue I had though, meeting different producers, like they couldn't adapt to the sound that I was trying to deliver. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody everybody want to do and make trap.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, and the ones that I did come across, like we didn't keep in contact somehow, and I'm kind of upset about that because I'm like, we could have made some great shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I noticed, you know, a lot of cats are starting to lean back towards the golden age hip hop type of vibe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate cats like Joey Badass that's still delivering that shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching his career since he was like 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? You know, way before Capital Steez had killed himself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the whole pro era, like they dope. You know what I'm saying? Even who was that? Tyler the Creator, our Future, and all of them before they all end up branching off and start doing these big great things. You know what I'm saying? They was making good ass golden age hip hop. But the issue I have with that is they start out doing that, and then once they get in the industry and stuff, they start making bullshit. Like they like, I got enough money, I'm just gonna put some shit out there because cause it's me. You know, they start getting lazy. You know what I'm saying? And I can't rock with that.
You stop hearing from them. It's every now and then. I get you, man. It's probably a lot to deal with, but you signed up for it, man. You know, I definitely I agree with the sentiments, but I do agree with them too in the same sense, because there could be I wouldn't mind pulling up more Joey Badass, some more recent shit. You know what I mean? Right. I wouldn't mind pulling up some more recent ASAP, or like you said, Frank, anybody from that area or that era that I feel like made real timeless music, and kind of up into that big bag, they were really growing through their music. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think was really cool about it, man. A lot of them nowadays, they're in a space, like I said, it's just for $1. But they got through, they grew up, and you heard it. You listen to, the Tyler the Creator, which is crazy to me, but you look at his growth and how he started versus some of the stuff he makes now. And if you didn't see the name, you probably wouldn't even know. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's just so evolved. But it is one of them things, man. That corporate bag, once it get to you, man.
Yeah. And
keep them lights on.
And I plan on starting a record label. You know what I'm saying? Nice. And like I wanna have a team of people. Like I want my shit to be like Dreamville, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I want a team of like open-minded creatives and free. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all thing musically. Just make sure it's dope. You know what I mean? Just make sure it's dope. And I really want to build a team like that. And I'm hoping to make that happen. Sometime soon. Yeah,
definitely. Like I said off camera, man. If you have any, or if you need any suggestions, reach out to me. Check out the blog. It's a lot of the trap rap, but there are some gems out here, man. It's some younger cats that, like you mentioned, appreciate the arts. One guy I know specifically that I went to school with, his name is Jay Wool. I'm gonna have to send you his info, but he had a trilogy come out the last couple of years called Street Smart, Book Smart 2, and he's paying homage to all the old heads, Nas, see, I'm having a blank right now, man. Biggie, doing a couple of their beats, but it's nice music, it's quality music, it's versatility in it. He got hooks in some of them. He, his bars change up. It's not about. It's a little bit of violence in there mixed in, on some I keep it cool with you, but I'll take it there. Right. But like I said, he appreciates the arts.
He giving a variety. Right. And you got these cats like the Baby. Every song I turn to, it sounds the goddamn same.
He putting beef on the plate and just.
It's the same,
No side dish, no entree, no appetizer, no dessert.
None of that. Like no wordplay, no switch up the delivery.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
It's the same shit. And it's a lot of them that's like that. And I'm just like, where's the real artistry? Are you in it for the love of it, or are you in it because you got noticed and it's making you money?
And that's really what it is more so nowadays. A lot of people, the love for what they're doing is fading. And it's just one of them things, man. As we're fed off of the same thing that, I mean, that's what we need, the money. Some people, it's crazy. Some people may even still be passionate about it and just have to do so much so often, it starts to get watered down because they're trying to meet an expectation. I'm like, brother, things got to change, man, or it's going to, you know, I think it's going to continue in that sense because someone's going to always want to be that person with the most. Right. You know what I mean? Whether it's dollars, whether it's followers, whether it's, you know, ticket sales, it's all powered by the same medium, though. You know.
Let me tell y'all something, man. Stop signing to these fuck-ass 360 deals, bro.
No, facts.
Joining a traditional record label is not the way to go. The same method that these record labels use, you can use it too. You just got to put that work in. Put that time and put that work in. You know what I'm saying? I look at cats like La Russell.
He's nice.
La Russell is nice, and I respect his hustle. I like La Russell because he out there giving free game. These labels, they see it, they see he hot. You know what I'm saying? Then he's smart. He got a whole stage in the backyard of his house. He got celebrities coming to show love and shit. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen nothing like it.
I think it's two important, very important factors. One, I always tell my lady, and I think holds true. And it's kind of Martin Luther King-ish, so I don't want to sound cliche, but I think love really transcends everything.
It does.
It may take you showing a lot of love on somebody, and sometimes it may not work, but I think that transcends everything. Too, is that, where was I going? Don't let me brain fart. I'm going to just cut it right here because I'm going to remember the second one, bro.
Yeah. Man,
love transcends. Man, why did I just brain fart so hard on the second one? Lost it. I ain't even gonna count.
Love definitely transcends everything, man. Yeah. You know, when you got love from your family, from your friends, you know what I'm saying? It's just from random people that you don't even know. Like, that's a whole nother different type of boost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not even pressure. You don't even feel the pressure. Like, shit it just flow like water. You know what I'm saying? Versus being a part of a corporate record label, and they giving you a time frame to get some shit done. You up here stressing out, scrambling, trying to figure out what you gonna do. Well, you know, what type of music you gonna write. You done got writer's block, so now you leaning towards a writer that they got at the label. You know, of course, the writer gonna get majority of the percentage of the song. The only way you gonna even see your money is if you go on tours. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You're not finna gain no money from your album sales or none of that shit. Like, them 360 deals, those are slavery deals, bro. And a lot of these young cats, they come in because they don't have no money and they be desperate to want to make it so bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you just sold your name. Yeah. You know, you just sold your name, bro. Like, when you off the scene, they gonna make it where you not even gonna be heard in the streets or be hot in the streets ever again.
Flavor Flav, he can't make music until like 2025 or something.
That shit is wild, man.
But I remembered the statement, and I'm gonna loop it back to the earlier statement, is that I like La Russell because La Russell gives you the freedom of choice. Yeah. I watched a lot of his interviews, and I think everything he does, he gives you a range. And I think when I found that out, I liked it about him. That's why I started locking in, because that's kind of why I do my promotion that way, because I want to give people the choice. You just have to be able to, you just have to tap in with me. Yeah. I'm gonna give you the avenues. You have to choose one and you get to take it though. You know, and that goes into what you were saying about these slave contracts and things like that. You're able to give more out of your control when you have more knowledge. You know what I mean? He knows the game, so he knows, okay, boom, if I do it this way, give people a scale. You've watched greats do it. Jay-Z did it, if I'm not mistaken. Nip did it, if I'm not mistaken. And say what you want, you know, about it being only two people. But we touched on it earlier. Y'all 99%ers can say that's what success is. Well, it looked like he said that's success, and it looked like it clearly worked. Yeah. So I kind of think of a lot of situations like that where people are one-offing them. Kind of like, I watched a Kanye podcast before. He went real. He cranked it up real bad. And he was like, you see someone on the highway running against traffic by himself, you're with a shirt off, sweating, you'll probably think he's crazy. But if it was 1,500 of them motherfuckers running at you, you'll probably think it's a marathon. So sometimes it just take going out on a leg and just going off on your own. You might have people that follow you in time, and then after that, like I said before, now you a genius. You the one that started it. So it's one of them things, man. I'm glad a lot, and it's younger too. I'm glad the young brothers and the brothers that still have time are starting to show that forward. You know what I mean? It's more people that are coming out in truth, as well as negativity too. So it's one of them things where I think the scale is getting ready to tip. Yeah. And we're gonna see which way it tips and you know, in due time.
Do your research. Do your research. Read books on the music industry. Read books on, you know, percentages. Get a better understanding of royalties and stuff like that. Exactly. Because what these record labels do, man, and I'm gonna tell you, they give you an advance, right? Basically, it's a loan. You got a certain period of time to pay this loan off. Okay, you done paid a certain amount of this loan off. They gonna give you another advance. But that advance is still gonna be another loan on top of what you already owe, what you was trying to pay off in the first place.
You get fooled by them dollars, man.
You get fooled by them dollars, man. Up here getting all these 5-star hotels and eating all these lavish $300 plates and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like shit like that. I appreciate that. But make sure you able to do that on your own. You don't need these labels to do none of that shit for you at all, bro.
What I suggest, if this don't cross any lines or break any toes, and from what I've seen, I don't think it does, man. If I'm an artist, especially nowadays with content and how everything's marketable, start you a business. Yep. Save you about $500-600. Get your business started. Get that loan.
Yep. Get that LLC.
Now use that loan, right? Put that into your expenses. Write that off.
Yep.
So you may have to be in the hole a year or 6 months or the first year or some change to build that business credit, to build, you know, to have to get them taxes back. But then once you do, okay, boom, now you can offset it and do this. Now it's just, it pays to know. And once you know more, you get paid more.
It's levels, man.
Yeah, it's definitely
levels. If you willing to put that work in and not look for the big corporate record label boss that don't know shit about music but just worry about numbers all the time, dude, man, the world is yours, my boy. The world is yours, man. Y'all don't need no traditional record label. These cats, it's not the way to go. I'm telling you. There's too many artists that come out the woodwork time after time and tell people like they fuck me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's me at that point.
Yeah, you know, like I remember doing a management deal. And it was a shitty deal. It was a 6 month, actually it was a year contract, right? The only show that I ended up doing was a Hennessy show, and I did an opening for Miguel when he had first hit the scene.
Nice.
I didn't get to do no shows after that, and in the contract it said that I couldn't do any shows on my own. And usually I go and hit up them chitlin circuits and be hitting up the open mics and be promoting my shit. I couldn't even do none of that. Everybody like, dang, where you at? You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen you on the scene in a minute and all of that. I come up with ideas and stuff. They shut my ideas down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? What do I have a contract with y'all for?
Was it independent management?
Yeah, they was based out in Chicago.
Okay.
What was the name? They were called Resuscitated Sounds. And you know, they had like different dealings with like different companies and A&Rs and stuff like that or whatever. But they were putting me on the shelf, and I didn't understand why. And I'm like, man, I'm hungry at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm making good shit. Like, what are y'all doing? You know, and it had got to a point where I'm like, you know, I'm gonna just have to seek legal action. So 6 months had went by, and they ended up terminating the contract. And when I say I felt so relieved, and it was like, damn, I felt like I was with a traditional record label, and you know, I ain't even make it that far, but still, like, that shit is not a good feeling being banded to somebody. You know, it's not a good feeling, bro. So,
and especially not. It's one thing if you were even getting a piece of what you wanted. You know, one show in a year is ridiculous.
One show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Show.
You can open up for Future or Drake. One of them. Hey, bro, I need something else too.
Exactly.
I need something.
Exactly.
You can't give me like one a month. I'm talking about one every month and a half.
That's what I'm saying.
We gotta get it going.
Constantly calling, giving ideas, letting them know what's up, what's going on, what we doing. You know, not calling me back, not returning my calls, and you know, just shutting me out, bro. Yeah, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah. Last thing we're gonna touch on today. You mentioned, you know, kind of your story getting down here, touching down in Dallas. So, what was the move, or what made you come down to little old Killeen, Texas?
Well, I came down here to be with my wife to be.
Okay.
You know, Tony Ringo. Shout out to Tony Ringo.
Yes, Sirski.
Yes, diva, vocalist, beautiful queen, muse, everything, all of the above. Yeah, man, I came down here to be with the love of my life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I know she had her business and stuff going on here. You know, and you know, I of course, you know, I work remotely, so you know, I was able to, you know, pick up everything and, you know, come out here and still, you know, have my job and stuff while she maintained the business. Eventually, you know, once everything kick off, we plan on doing a franchise somewhere. We've been looking at, like, you know, different places like New York and, you know, Chicago, you know, like the hot spots, you know what I'm saying?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, man.
I can see Space Crate going across the country.
Across the
globe.
For real, across the globe.
If I'm being honest, it's so much talent and it's so much creativity that's right here. When I went to Austin for an interview with a blog called Pop Austin, and they brought her up before I came up here.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that just goes to show how far it already stretches, because that's, I mean, it ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump. But at the same time, Austin has a lot going on. So for Austin to point out Killeen, you know, that I think that's big. Austin's growing, and Austin's becoming one of the real big pieces of infrastructure in the U.S. So, you know, and then another thing, man, Killeen is just prime real estate, in my opinion. She made a great point at the first mixer, man. If they gonna gentrify and do what they gonna do, we gotta get us a piece.
Get property,
you know.
Get property,
because,
and then the value of property out here is like little to nothing.
And as soon as you get it, it's gonna start to increase.
In the next 5 years, like I saw a property, and I'm talking about the building was way bigger than this. I'm talking about probably like 5 or 10 times bigger than this building, and they only wanted like $75,000 for the whole building.
And by
in the next 5 years, that's gonna be like well over $1 million.
Well over. In the next 3, it'll be 1.5.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because they building out here, it look like they doing more over there, which is beside the point. But
yeah, it's a lot of black excellence in Killeen. You know, and I love it. You know, from what I'm seeing, it's gonna look like a Black Wall Street if they keep it up.
It looks nice.
You
Downtown
know?
Looking nice, and they're starting to show more representation, and they're starting to kind of break that wall down faster here.
Yeah.
I'm from this town over, Coppers Cove.
Okay.
It's not happening out there.
Yeah.
The hip hop scene, the rap scene, it's not happening out there.
None
No
of that.
Sirski. We just got a club that was deemed, I guess, hip hop. And it came up and I think was gone within 6 months. And that was the first and only one I've ever seen there. And I've lived there since 2008. Like, since I was a shorty. Like, I grew up there. It's not happening. Not right now. I think it's one of those situations. It's a couple of younger dudes under me that rap right now.
Yeah.
And then I do this music thing. Like I said, with representation, you know, it's one of them things where I kind of went out on a limb. Like, I'm not worried about the homebody mentality, because that'll keep you in the home. That'll keep you at home.
Yeah.
So I hope that in time, more people from there will just start to show their creative side and that be expressed more.
Right.
So it's received more once they come home. If it's not, you know, if you're a choir singer or like if you do country, something like that, you might be able to make it out there.
Yeah.
But if you rap, even if it's good rap, like Larry June, they'd be like, "What's going on?
What's going on?"
And I'm like, "That's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a Sunday drive." So
and you know what's funny? Houston was the first city to embrace Larry June.
Yeah.
usually they always embrace that player shit out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Dallas followed suit.
Yeah.
And people in miscellaneous surrounding areas, they start listening to him or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he ended up getting well established in Houston.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the music scene, I hope it get much better in surrounding cities, because everybody ain't doing country. Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't doing bluegrass and all of that or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody not drilling either.
Everybody ain't doing drill.
Some people might just be wanting to go spit to a shorty. Some people might want to just talk about how fly they are.
Yeah.
Some people may just want to talk about the day-to-day experience through that music. It might just be something that's their canvas. They painting.
Yeah.
So, it's one of them things where I feel like, we can, but we need to get back to variety. Once we get some variety out there and it's not the same bland, maybe we'll appreciate the trap more once it fade away too. You never know. That's something people don't even think about either. It may be something we lean back on, like, yeah, man, this was cool. We was edgy, like, we gotta relax right now, man.
Yeah, relax. Take it easy, man. And stop putting so much of that negative shit in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because music, there's power in the tongue. You know what I'm saying? And music is basically like spells.
Yeah.
You put out that negative music, you're putting out that negative energy, and this person is listening to this shit, and they pumping theyself up to go and hit up a op or go and rob a nigga or some shit. You put on some shit like Larry June, nigga, you want to get your credit right. You want to drink green smoothies and sip on some orange juice and mimosas and, have crab legs and eat a vegan meal every now and again. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He take you to that place, and, man, just be careful with the things that y'all listen to, man, because, even NBA Youngboy said it. He took accountability with his music. I feel like my music done killed a lot of people. And I wish a lot of rappers would come forward and say that same shit.
And see, I think it's important, because a lot of people that will watch this, I'm sure, will have watched the NBA Youngboy interview. And again, that just goes back to earlier in our conversation. He's in a space now, whether it's physically or whatever, but he's in a space now where he can be soft with himself.
He growing.
Yeah. And he could say it was my fault without it hurting his own self, without it hurting his feelings, to say, no, I'm not going to deal with that right now. Let me go pop these perks. Let me pour this drink. He said, let me actually deal with what I'm feeling by expressing it through my words, instead of just putting that negative stuff on paper and having boys, So it's good, man. Yeah. It's real good to see,
Yeah, man.
But I appreciate you for the time, man.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all check out Last Page on all platforms of Real Last Page on Instagram.
Yeah, check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Real Last Page. That's RealLastPage. Also check me out on Open Page Podcast, because I'm a podcaster. I got my own podcast show. Be sure to check out Groundwork. Check out my baby podcast, Tony Ringgold, Groundwork. And we got a show coming up this Saturday, okay, on the 18th from 8 to 11. Sounds Like Love. And we're going to have a whole set here for the singles and the couples. It's a booed up and singles event. Y'all come through and show some love. Admission tickets going to be $15, and for VIP going to be $25, and that includes food and cocktails. So y'all come through and show some love, man, up here at Space Create Interactive Studios.
There you go. And we out, man. Like he said, man, shout out Space Create for the time. Shout out Last Page for the opportunity to interview him, man.
Said it feels so good to me, knowing the fact that you're my baby.